Hello and welcome to another edition of Classic Moments. I'm Bruce Howard. Normally we do a game or a play for a classic moment. We're actually going to have a basketball season, a special season though. The 1993-94 year was Tulsa's first trip to the Sweet 16. Here's a look at a documentary about that season 22 years ago. In the fall of 1993, Tubby Smith assembled the University of Tulsa basketball team. Although there's always uncertainty in any season, the third-year head coach had a good feeling.
Yeah, I knew that the 93-94 team would be special because of the returning players. I knew that we had the leadership within the team, to get the job done.
I knew the team had just great chemistry. I mean, the guys hung out together a lot outside the court. You know, there never was any kind of egos. There was never anyone trying to, belittle anyone. I mean, they seemed like a group of brothers.
We just had a camaraderie that was, at the time we probably didn't realize it, but looking back on it, we were all friends.
They really welcomed me with open arms, and I think that, with the togetherness that we had, I knew that we would do something special on the court.
That's the thing about that team. Everybody had a role, everybody filled their role, and no one complained about it.
We would just take our whole team, and minus the coach, just the team, and we just go bowling.
What you got to remember is we're all competitive. I don't care if we're on the basketball court or bowling or whatever it may be, playing cards. So every one of us, doesn't matter who you interview, we're going to say we won.
It was just a great group of, a great time, and a great group of kids to be around.
We practiced against each other. So the Bruise brothers were every day in practice, so I really think that had a lot to do with it. Yeah, and so facing these other guys, I mean, heck, we do it every day in practice. Why would we have a problem in a game?
Some of the best games we had all year were in practice. I mean, we would have these knockdown, drag-out fights. I mean, literal fist fights. We would get into fist fights because the guys on the team took it so seriously. I mean, it was important to them, So we'd have these games. It was blue versus white, is the way I remember it. Mm-hmm. And I can remember that year alone squaring off with 3 different guys. I mean, ready to go to fisticuffs.
We ended up battling them. I mean, they obviously were ranked #1 in the country, and the atmosphere was crazy.
For us, it was a confidence booster. Hey, we can play with these guys. Yeah, they've got the big name, Arkansas. They have, the more current history. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a confidence booster that early in the season.
To take the #1 ranked team in the country, down to the wire, we felt like we could play with anybody.
But it was a heck of a game, and it was a great atmosphere. I do remember that.
The early Missouri Valley Conference season included a loss to Bradley at home.
We lost that game, and so we came back and probably all got together and just, things happened. We had a good team and we got on the run.
Such a run that TU won 14 of 16 and captured an outright Missouri Valley Conference title.
Well, it was a feeling of ecstasy that we had arrived, that this team had done something special.
Just kind of like mission accomplished. It was the year before we weren't even able to play in the postseason, like Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. So, to now come back the following year and win the outright championship, it was kind of like mission accomplished. It was a good feeling. I do remember that.
Winning a championship and you're the leader and you're the head coach is important, and that's why I always felt like Tulsa was one of the greatest places, the best place I've ever lived and ever coached.
But that ecstasy was diminished when TU lost in the semifinals of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament to Northern Iowa. At 21-7, there was no certainty that the Hurricane would get an at-large berth.
So we didn't know. We didn't know if we had a chance of getting in, so we were very disappointed.
We felt like at the time that we had to win the tournament in order to get to the NCAA. We knew we competed against Arkansas. We had some pretty good wins, but we didn't think, the body of work was enough.
The anticipation, and of waiting to hear whether you're going to get a berth or whether you're going to get a spot in the NCAA tournament is just it's gut-wrenching, to be honest with you.
Snapping a 14 consecutive year appearance in the NCAA Tournament last year. The UCLA Bruins are the 5th seed, 6th consecutive appearance, and they will play Tulsa. Tubby Smith, nice job manning that squad there.
I know our players exploded, and I didn't even really realize who we were playing at the time. You know, when you see your name pop up, you really don't even care.
I remember exactly that moment when that UCLA Tulsa came up on the screen. I just jumped straight up, and everybody else were jumping around, hugging, and
When it popped and everybody got so excited, I can remember Lou Dawkins was kind of going, hey. He was like, and he was probably more excited than all of us, but he wanted to see it on the screen, and all of us were like jumping and just fired up. And I'll never forget Lou going, like, oh, settle down, guys. So if I live to be 150, I'll never forget Lou's face.
But then you come to realization that it's UCLA. You go, uh-oh.
So yes, it was UCLA, the most storied program in NCAA tournament history. Coached by Jim Herrick, the Bruins earlier in the year had been ranked #1. In a pregame meeting involving both teams, Herrick unwittingly said the Bruins would wear blue. But then when reminded by an assistant, he corrected himself by saying, "I'm sorry, we'll wear white. We'll wear blue on Sunday."
He had referenced that he was going to wear blue, but then he realized, okay, we're the home team. At the time, I remember Rick Dixon, my athletic director, nudging me because he was sitting beside me saying, "You hear that?" I was like, I really wasn't paying much attention. I go, yeah. I hope it doesn't mean what it think it means. That, you know.
We didn't really need any bulletin board material, but we definitely got some from those guys, you know, and could tell from their attitude that they pretty much thought they were going to breeze through us. And
honestly, when we looked at, you know, the team and the roster, we just felt like we matched up well with them.
Williamson now comes up with it. Left wing Seals. Back to Williamson. Back to Seals. Left corner. Three-pointer. Swish.
Tulsa's getting all
And a foul. And it counts. There's a steal by Rollo off the inbounds. Left side Williamson driving layup good from 5 feet out. And the Hurricane have scored the game's first 10 points.
Oh, it was just perfection. You know, when you see a team that's on a roll, playing well, focused, in that zone, I mean, that was that team at that point in time.
I mean, we were just so fired up, ready to go. And as you can see from the jump, we got out there and we were up and down the court, shooting the ball, defending, whatever.
You can't explain it. I mean, it's like, if it could go right, it was going right.
In what could be considered the best 20 minutes in TU basketball history, the Golden Hurricane led UCLA 63-38 at halftime.
The most insignificant score in sports is the halftime score. So forget about it, fellas. In fact, I remember saying at halftime, fellas, you know, we've got to play a lot better second half, and I'm sure they were thinking, what's Coach talking about here?
And, you know, Coach Smith was like, guys, we can play better. And so we all looked at one another like, man, that was a pretty good 20 minutes, Coach.
UCLA made their run in the second half, but Kwanzaa Johnson made sure there would be no miracle comeback.
Here's a pass ahead to Kwanzaa Johnson. Johnson dribbling down court. Slam dunk by Kwanzaa from 7 feet out. He leaped in the air and slammed it down. Kwanzaa Johnson with a huge athletic play. And it's back to a 9-point game with 1:03 remaining. Oh my goodness.
And so now it was on to the second round and state rival Oklahoma State.
We felt like if we could win this game, then we have arrived as a program. You know, we mid-major program, and we can beat some big schools and really make some noise in the tournament. And you know, they came out killing us.
Indeed, OSU dominated the first half, including a 40-footer by Brooks Thompson to take an 11-point lead at halftime.
And there was something that happened right before the half, and I didn't even see it until I'm watching it on tape. I'm watching the game afterwards, that Brooks Thompson had made a shot right before the half to put him up by 14, I think, and he grabbed the ball and kind of, you know, shoved it or gave it to Gary Collier and said, hey, take that.
And I remember him getting the rebound and putting it right in Gary's stomach. Gary Collier, Gary was our leader, our best player, the Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year.
And Gary Collier was a very emotional leader too. He came in, the first time I saw him emotional and crying and upset at halftime. I didn't know what it was. And I said, "What's wrong with you?" And we're going to be all right in the second half.
TU chipped away at the lead, and down the stretch it was back and forth between two great teams. With less than a minute to go, Lou Dawkins was at the free throw line with a 1-and-1, and TU down by 1.
Here's the 1-and-1 free throw. Back rim no good. Rebound, Collier lays it up and in. Collier got the rebound and laid it in. He has 25, and it's 79-78 Tulsa with 55 seconds remaining in the game.
One thing I can say about this team, I had a lot of confidence in late game situations, time and score. And when you have an intelligent team or a team that's a smart group of players, they make coaching a lot easier.
Gary had the ball and was dribbling it out. He made a play. They ended up helping up the floor a little bit, gave Lou a little distance. Gary kicked it to Lou.
To the left corner to Dawkins for a three. Yes! With 8.6 seconds left, Dawkins hit a three-pointer, and it's 82-78. The Golden Hurricane with the lead. Oh my goodness!
The shot went up, and it was like it took it 10 seconds to go from Lou's hand to the basket. But when it went through, it splashed. It hit nothing but the bottom of the net. So
It was great for me because I was standing right up under the goal, and I just saw it go straight through the net.
It was surreal, to say the least. And just euphoria, looking around at guys that you love, your teammates that you just love and adore and would do anything for, and just to see the joy on their face and the Tulsa fans.
It's, again, something that had never happened in the school's history. Winning 2 games in NCAA, advancing to the Sweet 16. So when you do something that for the first time, it's the memories, the ecstasy surrounding the program, fans, the media, all those things culminate and kind of validate that you have a good team.
We have a family, We created a great team at that time, and that was something that we'll always cherish forever.
Still talk to these guys. I love watching, them grow up with their families. Everybody's successful, and still taking the things that we learned, from basketball, from the court to real life.
To be on one of the very best basketball teams that ever played at the University of Tulsa and have an integral part of that is humbling to me.
What that team means everything. When you think about it, that's something you'll never forget, and for the players to elevate that program.